Hey y'all, welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, Homestead Happenings. I'm Susan. Grab something warm to drink and find a comfy chair and a blanket. January snow has arrived and it's cold outside. Our topic today in episode 24 is January Animal Care, the unseen work, specifically on our yard birds. Why does January animal care matter? In January, we don't have the excitement of spring chicks or the bounty of summer eggs. It is a month of pure endurance, both for the birds, my husband, and myself. And you, the viewer, do not get to see it all, the behind-the-scenes winter work. January water isn't a set-it-and-forget-it chore. It is a constant challenge of hauling fresh water to the feeders and coops. These water buckets hold anywhere from 2 to 4 gallons of water, and they are heavy. Also, dumping ice from the buckets can be a chore. Just keeping the ice from sticking to the bucket is a chore. I am often using my walking stick to break through the thick layer of ice on the top of the buckets. I never use hot water to thaw the buckets. Hot water freezes faster. We use cold water to thaw, then dump the chunks of solid blocks of ice before refilling. The reasoning is simple. Ducks in particular need to be able to dunk their heads or submerge their heads to clean their nostrils. But in January, this can turn into an enclosure, an ice rink within minutes. There is unseen work of rebedding their pen because they're so sloppy when they drink and dunk their heads. Their coop needs to be taken care of to keep them from slipping or getting stuck in the frozen slush, not to mention one of us falling in the slippery ice. Keeping the water feeders outside has helped with the coop and the icy mess, but how do we keep the buckets from freezing? We use old tires and either line the tires with straw or leaves to insulate the buckets. This creates a barrier to help the water stay fluid. It does create a resting place for mice, though, which is another issue and problem. So we only use this setup in the winter months. It's important to have clean, drinkable water for all of our birds. It's a common misconception that birds need heat lamps for warmth, unless you live in the frozen sub-zero climates. It's a delicate balance of ventilation and insulation. Our coop setup is a simple enough one. We use dog kennels wrapped in hardware wire, then topped with a clear tarp, plus roofing and making sure there are no gaps for predators to get in, but plenty of airflow. And to make sure that our chickens stay dry inside. Our coop has plenty of resting or nesting bars, roosting bars, and nest boxes for the chickens and turkeys and ducks. Since ducks can't get onto roosting bars, we keep dry leaves, hay, or straw available on the floor to help insulate them. Another factor we consider is their body temperature. Our chickens, which is 105 degrees Fahrenheit to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Turkeys are 105 degrees Fahrenheit to 106 degrees Fahrenheit, and the ducks come in at 104 degrees Fahrenheit to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Our birds are constantly 7 to 10 degrees or more warmer than us humans. When I might be chilled at 30 degrees, they are fighting a much steeper gradient to keep them and their core warm at 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Birds naturally fluff their feathers for extra insulation to maintain their body heat, We use calories as fuel. In other words, we supplement their feed with corn-based scratch grain, cayenne pepper flakes, and other herbs that will raise body temperature, especially in the evening feeding for the extra overnight warmth. They receive extra feed, especially in the winter months, to help them stay warm and active. Just imagine to maintain 106 degrees Fahrenheit core temperature in the air that's 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Their metabolism has to run in overdrive. This is why they eat significantly more in January. Not to grow or lay eggs, but simply to keep their internal pilot light on. At night, it is natural that their body temp drops slightly as they sleep to conserve energy. You will see them roosting with their feathers fluffed, using their feathers to keep the body temperature at 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Did I mention running a heat lamp is dangerous? Heat lamps can be knocked down, causing a fire. Plus, heat lamps can actually make your grown birds sick. Heat lamps should only be used for brooders, as young chicks need the extra heat. Ducks have a counter-current heat exchange, meaning they have a special circulatory system in their legs that allows them to stand on ice without freezing. Their warm blood pre-warms the cold venous blood from their feet, protecting the high core temp while their feet stay warm and just above freezing. Turkeys are a living furnace and have a massive heat produced with unique vulnerabilities. A turkey's internal temp is a blistering 105 degrees Fahrenheit to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. To a human, 106 degrees is a medical emergency. To a turkey in a blizzard, it is every movement that they make is a fight to keep that pilot light burning and from dipping even 1 degree. They use extra caloric combustion. In other words, they eat and burn calories, essentially converting grains into thermal fuel. Turkeys have one major design flaw: their bald heads. In January, you'll see turkeys tucking their heads deep under their wings while roosting to literally close the window and trap in the core heat. The snood risk. The snood is that fleshy bit over the beak, is highly vascular. Keeping blood flow to that snood is highly important to stop the frostbite. Chicken combs can also suffer frostbite. Turkeys, like chickens, use their fluffed feathers to control the core temps. Turkeys can also stand in snow and keep the blood flow to their feet. Turkeys also are very unique in how much fat they store. Fat stores are energy coal for their internal furnace. Feed is extremely important. We will often make fodder using seeds to give fresh vegetation in the winter months. Hot oats and defrosted vegetables are a good source of carbs that can help your flocks thrive in extreme cold weather. And you can look up online what vegetables that your flocks can eat safely. You can use Vaseline on the wattles and combs if you notice frostbite. Stewardship when it is inconvenient. We made the choice to raise chickens, turkeys, and ducks. They did not choose to be here. Stewardship is the realization that their 106 degree Fahrenheit life force is entirely dependent upon our 5 a.m. resolve. We have a silent contract when the alarm goes off and it's a negative 10 degrees with a wind chill. The convenient choice is to stay in bed. The steward knows that for the birds, an extra hour of sleep for a human could mean a frozen water bucket or a predator breach for an animal. Stewardship is what you do when no one else is watching. It is the extra trip to the coop at 10 p.m. to make sure the turkey isn't roosting in the wind. Good enough isn't good in January. It's a dangerous mindset. Inconvenient stewardship means refusing to skip the heavy lifting. It's choosing to haul fresh water one more time rather than letting them peck at the ice, even if your fingers and toes are numb. There's a unique bond that is formed when you brave the mud, the sleet, the freezing temps. You are feeling a fraction of what they live in and year out. That physical discomfort is a bridge to understanding their needs. Changing the bedding in a duck pen is one of the most inconvenient jobs in January. Doing it anyway because you know that you can't stay dry without you is the highest form of care. If your boots are wet, they are too. There's also a meditative quality to winter chores. When the world is silent and frozen, your breath and the sounds of the birds eating are the only things that exist. Building a tough mental attitude during the summer months builds resilience and a get-her-done attitude in the winter months. An owner keeps animals for what they give. A guardian keeps animals for who they are. The reward is survival. The paycheck isn't a basket full of eggs. It's the sight of your flock tucked in, warm and alive, because you did the work that sucked the heat out of your bones. We all love farming in the summer months when we have fluffy baby chicks and green grass. But stewardship is defined in what January brings. When the water hose is frozen, your boots are leaking, and every fiber of your being wants to stay inside. Stewardship is the commitment to our animals that our own comfort comes second to theirs. We remain faithful in our work and quietly do it. My background videos today will continue cleaning and decluttering. Once a year, sometimes twice a year, I tackle the corner spice cabinet, condensing down spice jars and moving over stock to the overflow pantry in the big pantry. Cleaning and organizing so we can use it all up, all those little bits and pieces left in jars. King James Version on animal care. I'm going to read a few verses and then we're going to close out. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. The last part of Psalms 36:6 says that thou preservest man and beast. The Lord preserves man and beast because he himself values the animals. In Colossians 3:23, and whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord, and not unto men. The bottom line, it doesn't matter the weather outside. Our flocks still need our care. Our attention turns to our inside pets as well, making sure they are warmed and loved on. Roscoe especially gets cold easily. We keep a warm sweater and baby blankets for him, keeping their pet beds clean and inviting, and we use old pillows covered with a pillowcase and a baby blanket for extra warmth for them to lay on, a little crochet rug here and there also for a warm spot to sit or lay. Our new schedule is long-form videos Monday and Friday, Tuesday podcast, third Thursday live, a community post on the days off, and shorts periodically. January work on the homestead isn't loud and it isn't showy, but it matters. The feeding the chickens, the tending, the watching, and the faithful work. When we care for what God has placed in our hands, even when no one sees, we are walking in obedience. This unseen work is still holy work. Even cold mornings Every filled water bucket, every small act of care is seen by God. No work is wasted when it is done with a purpose and desire to please God. Here on the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, you will see us in action with this year's theme, the resourceful homestead. Our next topic will be on why we inventory the pantry and freezers. Quiet work that prepares the homestead. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.